Just 1 second. Can't do it both at once. So, anyways, there was a lot of messing around in the not warehouse, sorry, temple for a while. Warehouse is currently where we are. A temple for a while, and finally came through the door, and everybody got flashed a series of sort of visions and images, and one of which showed Bob in a stone building, but he was hearing the sounds of a ship. So there was a number of other things going on that were interesting. So yeah, and mean different things to different people. So yeah. So yeah. Anyways, and then Pito heard from Lady Rodorello. Hold on a second.
Rodaro?
And I am a boar.
Okay, that's hilarious. Yeah, it is Rodaro Marello. It's funny, but I didn't. There's a reason it was that name, but it's difficult for me to say. It's the last name that actually messes me up. So the very last of the three. So Lady Rodaro Melorello. Anyways, but so who has many other names. Anyways, she communicated with Pito to meet or to go to a place northwest of here called Blackthorn, I believe. Blackford, I think, I believe it was. And there he received a message from a flirty bartender and was told that so much would be revealed in this if they were to go to this. They would learn so much if they would go to this warehouse, but they were to approach it without Luska. So that in the city of Luska, they would approach it without being seen. So then Spalding transformed Finn Bumbleberry into a puppy. Oh no, Spalding transformed himself into a spider, and then somebody transferred Bumbleberry into a puppy. Who was that? Who did the spell?
Pedo.
Pedo, yeah. So Pedo's concentrating, by the way. Pito, keep that in mind, right?
I think Spalding is in Jess's pocket.
Spalding has been thrown against the wall and is standing at the edge of the warehouse.
Okay.
Yeah, transformed at the point of impacting the wall. So, because that was the one hit point that he had. So, yeah, for sure. So, sorry, go ahead. So, yeah, you guys traveled north. There wasn't any real trouble on the road. Weather's good. It's a little cold. Luskan is very cold. It's a port city, lots of tall ships, 5 bridges it's famous for. You guys are just went basically straight through the front door. I can't remember. I think Pito gave a bunch of BS to the guards, or Jess. I can't remember. Jess did.
Jess chatted them up.
Yeah.
Just overwhelmed with inaneness.
Yeah. Jess had a lot of caffeine. So. Yep. So yes. Anyways, so now you guys are. So anyways, Pito and Spalding were teleported inside the warehouse, and the rest of the party, including you, is behind it, against the outer city wall. Questions? Anybody think anything I missed that was important?
Well, there was someone in the warehouse, right? That was like seated there, almost waiting.
Yeah. Frankford's not in there yet, so we're gonna go back. We're gonna go there after. I was just for the updating Frankford part. There definitely is somebody in the warehouse sitting there across from them. And that's where we're at. So, did I catch that, or is that good?
Yep, all good.
All right. Okay, so across from Pito and Spalding, so you guys are out there behind the warehouse. They've teleported away. Spalding was a spider in Pito's pocket on the teleport. Spalding is now standing over against the wall or the crate here where he was thrown. and smashed into and fell to the ground and is standing up. Across from you, Vito, is a what you believe to be a dwarf. There's a lot of hair involved. Man, he's sitting down in front of a crude wooden desk on a pallet, and he's looking at you. He has a braided, long gray beard with some sort of baubles in it and stuff. You see some of the regalia he has some of the inscriptions that are carved on Pito on them, and he has a staff with something like almost like a web circle on the top that has a symbol of a rabbit in the middle of it. And he's sitting across from you, and he's examining you guys through sort of sleepy looking eyes. So yeah, and and Pito asked a question, but I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, Pito just followed the instructions exactly that I received from Radaro.
Yeah.
So I believe it was to do the handshake.
Yeah.
And I forget what the question was that I asked, but I think we can start there with Pito just following the instructions to the letter that he received.
Okay. So so you offer the handshake?
Yep.
Okay. He reaches out and his hand is shaking, and it looks like he's going to almost fall forward, and you realize how incredibly old he must be. Perception is from Pito. That's fine. Let me make sure I have everybody's rolls. Frankford, what were your rolls for perception?
I rolled a 7
and
9,
Pito, let's start with you two.
21.
7, 9, 21. Okay. Pito?
I think it was 2, 3, 11.
All right. Okay, and Finn? Or Bumblebee?
6 and 21.
Sometimes I'm looking at your icon, I read your name instead of your character. Jess.
Jess is 12, 4, and a natural 20 for 19.
Wow, cool. Well, hopefully we get that far. Kelp.
Kelp has 19 and 12. Did we need a third perception, or is 2 sufficient?
I might as well give me one. Everybody's got one. We'll hold it. And Spalding.
18, 12, 18.
Wow. Cool. Yeah, Kelp will just grab a third one there. Same with a Bumbleberry.
Third one is 9.
9. Pretty even distribution for most of you there.
19.
19. Awesome. Okay, so you guys are standing here. Peter, you reach out this frail old man, and he has put his finger in the position already. He reaches across the desk, and he sort of half stands, and he's going to fall face first on the desk. Hand is shaking.
I'll help him. I'll make sure it doesn't fall face first on the desk.
All right, you sort of put your handshake under his arm in a way that's sort of supporting, and so that you sort of like hold him up, like you go for the, but you have the position with your finger there, so it's a little awkward, but you pull it off, and he shakes your hand by there's no actual shake, it's just a grasp, right? Is the normal.
Okay.
And roll a strength check.
All right. Very strong, Pito. Strength. Oh, sorry, that was a saving throw. It's the same though. So it's the
Okay.
same.
So you grab your hand. He shakes very briefly, like maybe 2 seconds, and it is like you're not damaged, but holy crap, is that like a crush? And he pulls back from your hand if you let go, and he's shaking and frail, and sort of his whole body sits down and just like shakes. So yeah. Anyways, you to roll an insight. So.
18.
Okay, so you guys, yeah, he accepts the handshake, sits down, he goes, "Oh, you're him." So the rest of you, and he points like he waves his hand like there's a whole room full of people, and he says, sniffs the air, and he says, he says, which burrower sent you, or are you instead the mice chasing the cat? That's what he says. And he points to the back wall and he says, "You should stay right where you are, or somewhere just beside Spalding, and don't spin any webs." And he says that very sternly, and he goes back to Peto, and he's like, "Which burrower sent you?"
Does Peter have any idea what he's talking about?
Yeah.
I don't.
You hadn't heard that term before, but I mean, a burrower is a rabbit term, so. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm gonna say Lady Morella.
Okay. And he just like is racked with a spasm of coughs, and he oh, but by the way, this Spalding is there. So hold on a second. Dog's making a bunch of noise. Spalding, something makes you want to roll insight. What it is your perception roll. Okay.
Go to roll insight.
Yeah. Okay.
That's almost a 1. Well, again, turn to the left side.
Anyway, so you okay. So he sits back and he just looks at you and he says, "Well, the rest of these people, were they following you, with you, prisoners? What's the story this time?" And he says it a little clearer. So. There's no camera. Oh, I probably closed it maybe 30 minutes ago. Yeah. So, where is my camera? So yes.
Yeah, they work for me.
Ah, I see. He says, and suddenly, Spalding, you hear small sort of scratchy noises behind the crates behind you, and then nothing, and you hear the words, hear like whispered words come back from there, and he says, "Boy, they're slow." That's a little whispered voice says that.
Boy, they're slow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Peto hears something said over there. And then this gentleman says, I am Gralder. I am Gralder Heathborough. Says, welcome. With some caveats there. Let's say some reservations. Their friend will be here any minute. Your employees. Your employees? Is that the word we should use?
Yeah, it's a good word for it. I'm gonna do an insight on this guy. 14. Does he seem to be? When I said the lady's name, Morello, did he seem to be surprised? Be friendly, or like what was his reaction that he got then?
You think an eyebrow might have raised, and you're not sure what it means because his face is so full of hair, but he didn't seem surprised at all. That's definitely not what he was.
Okay.
Yeah. And he looks at you and he says, so are you here to, are you just passing through? Are you here to conquer? Are you here to learn? What is your plan? And you realize that he didn't see it happen, but his fingers sort of glow and the room brightens quite a bit. He holds them up in my camera's not working position. And he holds them up, just like all like pressed together, and there's like a glow, like a soft moonlight comes out of them. And he's like, he's looking around, and he says, "They're here somewhere. You can hear them. But anyways, you're friends. And you, are you here to conquer? Are you here to learn? Just passing through what brings you here. You are the one, right?" So he points at you, and you realize he's probably referring to your skin.
Yeah. I am indeed the one. I'm here to learn.
Okay. And how do we know what's in the hearts of these others?
You can leave that to me. I've vetted them extensively.
So Silverthorn sent you. Did she send you directly, or did she send you on a merry chase?
Did he say Silverstone?
Silverthorn.
Silverthorn. Okay. She sent me directly.
Okay. So we've got Frank.
Oh, you've cut out entirely.
Yeah, we can hear you.
The boar.
I assume he went away to chase the dogs.
Maybe.
What's that, Sam?
Your voice cut out entirely. Nobody heard anything you said. I
Oh.
thought you went to chase the dogs,
No,
but
I'm
then
right
I
here.
realized you're on camera and still there.
So no, I'm right here. No, I just said okay. So we switched out back, and we have Frankford the boar, who's probably being annoyed by Bumbleberry the puppy, and Bumbleberry's mount is there. Yeah, Jess is standing there.
I'm not
Kelp.
on any map right now. I'm on the world map.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, I mean Kelp.
Mm-hmm.
You're flying. What are you doing right now?
There was a full damn pig to play with as well. So I'm probably trying to like put the pig on the mastiff and then like the puppy on the pig and kind of like, stack the animals.
Cool. If only you had a spider for the top, be like the cherry, right? So
An awful 8-legged cherry.
Jess is looking like something that is in the jungle. It's a Pokemon or something. Where was that? Memes and comics? Where was that face? Oh yeah. So what physical form did you have, Jess? Generic, I believe, right? You guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's a
Jeff,
little muffled, but we can hear you.
Jess, what do you look like? Your physical form right now?
Oh,
It was generic,
sorry.
wasn't it?
Yeah, she looks like a local. She tried to look
Okay.
with her face, obviously, but dressed like a local clothes based on what she saw walking into town.
Okay. No problem. So, yeah, you guys are standing back there with Jess and a pig, kelp, and a boar, and a puppy. So, and you hear sort of whispering, and he said, "No, I told you, big hands." A little high pitched voice, very like soft and squeaky. "No, I told you, big hands doesn't mean anything. We've had that discussion." And it's from about like 10 or 15 feet to your right there. and yeah, you just perceives it as does Kelp. So you're standing on this long, narrow, 10-foot wide space against a city wall and a warehouse wall. Sorry about the noise.
Was there a door beside us, or?
No, there is no door on the back.
Because I thought that was our plan, was to go in the door in the back, but there isn't.
Oh, actually, there is a door on this side. I apologize. There is a door just right past you. Yep.
Okay.
I apologize. Sorry.
Jess looks at the animals and says, "Were we going to go in the door when nobody's looking?"
I wag my tail.
I feel like we'll wait for a signal, but I don't know what the signal would be. But I'm sure that if they need us, we'll know.
Neither Kelp nor Jess are particularly bright.
But we are
So-
the brightest light bulbs in the alley right now.
We're going to read the tea leaves of the animals. I've got one tail wag. Frankfurt?
I oink, I guess.
Jess looks at Kelp with her beady, just nothing behind their eyes. And sees a mirror.
Like we're reading each other's souls right now. It's two blank.
And we have no idea whether to go in the door or not. What the plan was. Was there another animal or just the two? There was
a spider.
Bumbleberry's mask is there.
Sorry?
Yeah. There's Bumbleberry's mount, which has been hanging out with him.
We both turn and look at Bumblebear's mount.
It's probably the smartest thing here.
Probably.
It looks up at you and it sort of looks at Bumbleberry, and it looks like it's ready to play, and also looks confused. Does he have a name?
I haven't asked.
Right.
The frog would also be there too, I guess.
So based on
Your frog
based
is
on the mount, the most intelligent creature here, as far as we can tell, do we see anybody looking at us?
you can not be physically seen. There's no line of sight by anybody. But at the moment you're having,
Then let's go in the door.
at the moment you're having this thought, just you're absolutely, you feel like a small creature ran past you, but you didn't see anything, like the brushing of your legs. And Kelp, you have the same feeling. You see sort of a disturbance run past you, very small, low to the ground, but it's like sort of almost the dust and stuff like that. Jess just feels that feeling, doesn't see anything at all. And Kelp sort of, yeah.
Do the dogs see it?
The dogs are like alert and watching it go by. They're just tracking it, so they watch it go by from Jess. Once Kelp realizes that creatures run by, you notice right away that the dogs are like, their heads are just doing that sort of tennis, ball track.
Does it look like it? Does it seem like it's watching us or like going somewhere else?
It's just something that ran by both of your feet. So.
Okay.
All right, I'll do a divine sense. Do I detect any good or evil?
Okay, you do divine sense. You do. Just a second. I gotta close my door. Just a second. Speaking of dogs, hey, go up there. Come on. She talks a lot when people come home. He is nosy. So, yeah. So you to cast detect good and evil, and you feel
It's like divine sense, but it's
Divine sense,
is different from detect good and evil.
So on Kelp's shoulder is a celestial frog because Frankfurt can't take care of it. And yeah, there's I don't think that you're I believe that your mount is a Fey, Bumbleberry.
Yes.
Okay, so there's a Fey there, as expected, and you don't detect any other creatures. Divine sense. this is just a question for myself. Anyways. Yeah, so you don't detect any evil or anything of that sort going on. So.
All right.
Yeah. Divine sense, as a note, does not see through walls, but that does. Don't think of that as ominous. I just was curious.
Doesn't see
Okay.
total cover, yeah.
So yeah. So yeah, you definitely hear maybe some whispering, but looking at that, you cannot be sure where it's from, and you do catch the words though. Kelp, you catch the words, a few of the words, which include they smell, they're slow. There's other mumbling, but you don't know what it is.
So I turn to Jess and I'm like, hey, someone just said that we smell and that we're slow. Like, how dare they?
Well, I don't smell, says Jess.
Well, you have no nose.
That's true. Jess transforms into another anonymous city person. Exactly the same face, though. Well, we don't really care if people think we smell or not. Let's do it. And I look to Bumbleberry's mount for reassurance.
It looks at you
then,
expectantly because it's a Saint Bernard type, and it's.
Yeah, I stare back, and again, zero communication happens. And then Jess will go and bring everyone over to the door, and we'll open the door and go in. This menagerie.
Okay. You guys, yes. That's a ridiculous collection of animals, yes. Somehow we have ended up with a herd. So you guys go, and the drawing tool fails to do anything at all. You guys go, and I'm going to switch, but I was just trying to use the drawing tool. And I don't know why that says Frankford's horse instead of Frankford. All right, to remind me that it's not Frankford. And you guys appear. Everybody gets some vision. Yeah. Come on. And you can do it. I know you can roll 20. I know you can do it. Huh. Fine. Here we go. Nope. That's not. That didn't work either. Hey. All right. Anyways, your dog is there. Just needs to come to the map.
Is that the?
Right.
Is this where we should be?
It's down here. There's this kind of reddish mark is a door that wasn't working very well.
Gotcha.
Yep. So you guys enter. You find Pedo. So that Kelp, please do a dex save.
Dex save. All right.
Yes.
21.
21. So nice save. You stumble as you realize that your feet were tied together by like a loose rope. You stumble forward into the door and you don't trip. So, yes. So at some point, something tied a rope around your feet, but didn't tie it very tight, like they were in a rush or something.
Sounds like me.
Yeah. So yeah, you sort of kick it off and you come through the door. So Kelp and Jess, you're through the door. Animals are following, and away you go. Yeah.
close the door behind us once the animals are in, so
Alright.
that nobody sees us. We're being inconspicuous
All right.
with our 2 dogs, pig,
So you
fishman,
catch up,
and
you catch up in time to Pito, as and you see him standing here. Pito, you were having this discussion. You got the name Silverthorn. You said you were here to learn, and you start to hear sort of louder voices around, and you see the man in front of you whose hand is glowing he goes like this, and he goes back in like that, and you hear more small noises around you. And so yeah, he stands up very slowly and very carefully, and he comes and starts walking around to you. What are you guys doing, Spalding and Pito, to start?
I'm gonna subtle cast detect magic and take a look around.
Sure, no problem. All right. This guy glows a whole bunch. His staff glows a whole bunch. The runes on his body glow a whole bunch. You didn't even know he had a belt till it started glowing. I think there might be something around his neck that's glowing. It is almost everything is divine magic. Just every single thing, in fact, is divine magic.
Do I see anything behind me from where I heard those whispers?
So now you're aware of around you about 7 different little spots of magic.
I like Spade says they could be stuff worn by people. Let me check one thing, because there's kind of splitting hairs on magic capabilities here. Yes, so you see illusion magic around you. So okay,
sort of like
I'm gonna message
different areas. So yeah.
I'm gonna message to Jess that there's a bunch of illusions around us.
So you just don't know.
If Jess's eyes could go wide, they would.
They go slightly wider, but nobody knows because it's not enough. So yeah, you guys, you hear that, and he says, "That's enough messing around, you two, or you guys. I mean, not you two. I just messed up Kelp's thing, but anyways, tried. Anyways, that's enough messing around, and you see, coming from behind Spalding, behind the creek, a gnome, but the smallest friggin' gnome you've ever seen, like small for a gnome. And it comes out from behind the crate, and it says, "Hey, don't try anything." And it just turns up and looks up at Spalding. It's wearing like a dock worker's cap, almost like a knitted one, right? But it's, because it's a gnome, it's got a little bit of a peak to it. It's a gray beard, blue overalls, and like just a vest that goes over those, and just looks like any average dog worker, except for he's only about 7 inches tall. So yeah, definitely a city character. He just says, "Don't try anything," and he just goes like this with his fingers and makes little magic symbols. And yeah, and the same. Somebody comes out and stands over here, little tiny creature, and he just looks at you, Pito, and the gentleman says, "Would you like some food?"
I bark. And in that bark, I'm saying I can eat.
You know, your friends there, they can just be themselves. Your employees, he says, and he says that very sarcastically.
Yeah, I'm getting that vibe from him. He doesn't believe me. I'm okay on the food. But at this point, I think there's some. I don't say this, but Pito is thinking there's potentially some danger, so he'll drop concentration on Bumbleberry.
Yeah. All right. When he says to employees sarcastically, he's not like annoyed by it. He's just kind of laughing at you.
Yeah. Just Not entirely sure.
Right.
Yeah, it's no, I'm good. I don't want to eat, but I would like to learn.
Okay. Well, you can stay here as long as you want. The kits will show you around, and he points to the two small guys. They will, and he stands up, or standing up, and he takes another step. As I said, he steps around. He steps beside you, and he says, "May I look?" And he's talking about your hands and your skin.
You may.
And so you drop concentration on who? Bumbleberry?
Yeah. So he's no longer a puppy.
Hey. So he looks at your hands and he's touching it and he says, this is the first. We knew this could happen but this is the first. So, and then he looks over at Bumbleberry and he's like, and he says a word. What languages does Peter speak? Sorry.
Elven, Common, what else? Our secret language.
He says to you in about, you think maybe he says the same thing and quietly to you and whispers it. Anybody who wants to try and hear it can do a perception check. That's fine. I think we'll just go with Jess on that and Spalding for now. It'll be easy.
I'm on the other side of the room. It probably shouldn't be me.
Yeah.
Oh, for people talking in the
This
center.
rolled really well. That's about as good as she gets.
Yeah. So you hear a few words in a different language. Jess, what do you speak anyway? Sorry, I definitely don't know with you.
Oh, Jess does not speak a lot of different languages. She speaks Common and the secret language, and that's it.
Okay. All right. So, but eventually the fourth time is Elvin, and you hear the word with a question mark, coyote, and he's looking at Bumbleberry.
I stand.
Oh no, Jess doesn't understand Elvin, so it's Peter that hears that.
Yeah, Jess would not know.
Yeah. So Jess just hears a lot of weird words. So yeah, and you guys can place yourself where you be. He says, "Coyote, are you sure?" And he says it once he realizes that you recognize the word Elvin. He says, "Coyote" again, and "Are you sure?" Or the word in Elvin.
I'm sure. Yeah. He's can be trusted. He's on our side. I say in Elven.
Okay. So Peter is speaking a language that I don't believe anybody else here understands.
No.
You've heard him before.
Elven
I
different
think it's just
Sylvan?
yeah.
Elvin and Sylvan.
Elven and Sylvan?
Yeah. You would understand the gist of everything, yes, for sure.
Yeah. Well, you could comprehend, but maybe not understand.
Learn to, yeah. Speak, read, and write.
Very specific in what you can and can't do.
So yeah, Sylvan is the sort of the noble high sort of crazy old language, right? So there's just very little of it that's the same. So Sylvan is the Feywild creatures, and there's a few Elvish words. That's about it. So there's a few words in every language that are usually Sylvan. So but yeah, so this conversation is going on, and again he gestures to you guys, and he says, and he points over to Bumbleberry and he says, just says in common, he says, "This is a friend of Bob's."
Yes.
Insight from Bumbleberry and Pedo, please.
Okay. Insight. 5.
All right.
18.
Bumbleberry, he did not know the answer. He had no clue. He was uncertain. So whether you'd be a friend of Bob's or not. And so he invites you to stay here. He's like, we can. The Silverthorn sent you, and I assume knew that the rest of you would come. And his voice is stronger and clearer now,
definitively everybody understands that and recognizes that. So, and there's not a lot of shaking going on anymore. He's the tallest person in the room. He's a dwarf. He's taller than Bumbleberry, but that's it. So, and he just still looks ancient, but he moves smoothly when he comes around and greets everybody and tells them that his name is. Jill goes to Jess and says, "My name is Grelder," and then turns to Bumbleberry and says, "May I?" and shakes your hand, and then if you let him, and just
Oh, of course.
wants to look at your arm. And he said, "This magic is supposed to be dead."
I didn't know you could kill magic.
Kill the god, kill the magic. He says matter of factly, "Just come with me," and he invites you to come into the place, and again invites everybody to eat if anybody else is hungry, and if you're not, that's okay.
I mean, Jess won't say no to a snack if there's like food out.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be inhospitable to this room full
No.
of short people.
Oh, it's a grave offense to short people if you deny a meal.
Yeah, we've been hanging around with Bumbleberry. We know, like, we've all had his little bit of his protein shakes. It's a thing.
Right. A number of these small guys start to appear, some of which are sort of running around, heading over into the bigger rooms over here. Spalding realizes that you think that the guy that just appeared over from by the barrels over here may have just come out of a hole.
Like a hole in the ground?
Yeah.
Or a hole in the
Yeah, through the floor. The floor is a little rough, a little rotted, but it's stronger than it seems, and it's just on bare earth. So, yeah. So, and yeah, somebody brings over to this. Here, you come over here. There's a table that's not on the map. It's made of crates, anyways. And you're invited to sit down and eat. And a couple of little gnome people, they all look like workers. In fact, they look almost like Jess did when Jess was trying to be generic and not noticeable, but just maybe a little rougher around the edges. They look like immigrant workers, that have come to work, that moved from the docks from one place to another. We got different, sort of flat caps and toques and different caps, and they all have sort of rough looking hands, but they're very, very, very small. Like Bumbleberry is like finely tall, and one of them is like, a couple of them, actually two of them have walking sticks, and somebody brings a sack of carrots and just like a bunch of food. So all kinds of vegetables. They all seem very fresh. Yeah. And you're invited to eat. So. And he. So if you guys eat, he will ask you what it is you don't know. You said you wanted
everyone.
Where is Bob?
We don't know. I assume still tending to the children, is he not?
No, he's appears to be on a ship somewhere, captured by the others.
When you saw the Bob last in the vision, is that what you're talking about? Just me asking you?
Yeah.
Okay.
And also in when we saw him in the temple too.
Yeah. The room that you see him in both cases is made of like white, thick quartz.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll explain that, and I'll say that it sounds like there's a ship. He's on a ship as well.
You saw him in a room like that?
It could have been an illusion, but I did, yeah. And I'm looking at my group to see if they're okay with me sharing this information.
Does anybody indicate anything to Pedo?
Nope.
Yeah.
Frankford, When do you turn back?
Whenever I need to.
An hour or something like that. How long?
What does
how long do
Frankfurt
they
do
stay?
when at will?
Yeah.
Okay. He looks at you and he says, "You're the first of your people to ever come here." And he looks at Kelp and Spalding and he's like, "As a matter of fact," and he kind of smiles. It's not that you're not welcome. You just don't remember if I've ever seen. And he looks at Kelp. Tilts his head.
I wave.
Wild shape can right now last up to 6 hours.
Yeah, but what do you want? That's all. So, are you going to stay a boar? You can't hear the conversation, but you can see the movements and get a feel, I think, if I recall.
I would say if everyone
Yes?
else turns back, I would probably turn back into a person. Or quote-unquote person.
Yeah, that would be intuitive.
Jess plays the flute to endear herself to the local gnomes.
Oh, they're just running around. They're dancing. And you realize definitely, Spalding definitely realizes, and Jess definitely realizes, and Finn at this point in Frankfurt, they're all pretty subtly, but like not just like a dagger, but heavily armed, but clearly tiny weapons that you can't see very well. So
My background is an entertainer,
yeah.
and I'm legitimately putting on a performance to. It's harder to punch someone that you like. And Jess notices the weapons and is just putting on just a little jaunty running around tune, just to
All
bring the temperature down.
All
Because
right.
they seem twitchy.
They're definitely dancing, and every once in a while they seem to look towards the leader, just like as if they're expecting something. He's clearly in charge.
Right.
He's the biggest person here, so there may be a little bit of prejudice involved in that. But
okay.
They
and,
do have daggers, but do they look like? I know they're all dancing around, but does like one kind of look like he's more like aggressive with his dagger?
Oh, they all look like that. They have a bit of a glint in their eye that would suggest roll an insight.
Insight.
Oh,
Sorry,
for Frankfurt, I mean. There's nothing too much for the rest of you, but Frankfurt's thinking about it.
Sight, there it is. That is a 10.
Generally, all right. Generally, everybody feels like if you were to do something like even a bit threatening here, that every one of these creatures would be climbing up your back and sticking you full of holes. But they're also dancing and maybe a little drunk. So. Hard to say. Yeah. But yeah, Spalding definitely notices that because he thinks about it, definitely maybe a glint. Yeah, in their eyes, just they're watching everything. They're aware of everything you do and everywhere you go.
Mm-hmm.
You also notice that one that leaves you, you catch after a while. Spalding and Frankfurt, both the one that left you, actually didn't just go behind something, but just kind of disappeared. So.
Yeah, am I thinking that there's like illusion covered holes and stuff?
Yeah, there could be spots on the floor or something that are hiding them. It could be something else going on. So yeah. So Pito, he says, I've heard of the place that you described, but I don't know if what you described is real or not.
Where is this place?
He says, I will teach you a few other things, and then it'll make more sense. And I'll tell you before you leave.
Sure.
But I just said now, you might run off, half loaded and with information. So they invite you guys to stay. They offer you beds and stuff like that, and spend quite a bit of time transferring information, but mostly to Pedo. So, is there anything anybody else will do here in sort of a rest and relaxation time?
No, I'm too distracted by food.
What? Why are we here again?
Okay. You were here for information.
We got sent here by that person, Pedo knows, that girl.
Yeah, Lady Rodaro.
Okay.
So, sorry. So yeah,
While Jess is playing the music, she tries to chat him up as we're kind of working the room, eating, snacking.
Yeah.
Does she get a sense of what this place is by talking to any of the little people?
Well, first one comes right up to you. He has a really thick, strange lilt to his accent, and he seems to be drunk, and he says, "Oh, what is it that you want to know? Maybe I can tell you, maybe I can't."
I don't even know where to start, says Jess, and looks at him with just the face of someone who knows actually nothing.
Were
To
you
the point
born
where
research
she's
straight
not
up?
actually bothered with it because she doesn't realize how much she doesn't know.
He says, "Were you born this stupid, or did somebody hit you on the head?"
Ooh.
She she can understand an insult. She smacks him.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
It's,
so many people
it's
doing
good.
For your information, I was born this way.
Oh, because
Well, born slightly different shape.
I remember one time I was hit on the head, and I felt like I didn't know who anybody was for like at least a week. But then there was a lot of rum too.
Well, let's start small. I'm Jess. Who are you?
He says, "I am Snitch Cooperfoot."
Snitch Cooperfoot.
But Bumbleberry,
Mm.
are you paying any attention?
Vaguely.
It's a halfling name.
Hmm. Wait, I look over. Is he a gnome or a halfling?
Not at all. Not even a shrunken halfling, but just an item of interest, anyways. You know, everybody else would think it's a bit of an odd sing-songy name, but to you, it's a halfling name.
Jess says, "Were you born with that name, or did you go into it?"
And
Nice.
he holds his fist up and he says, "You know, you're kind of lucky you don't have any balls. You don't, right? You never know sometimes."
Jess makes a funny face and says, you can find out. I could.
Oh, and now his whole demeanor changes to kind of smiling and excited.
Yeah, Jess
Well,
does not change anything.
Just understand the implications of that statement to some possible males. It's okay.
Sorry,
If Jess does.
I can't. You're. It's like you're shouting from far away. What did you say?
Let me check this. Is this any better?
It sounds exactly the same.
Does anybody have any trouble?
We're fine here.
No, but I want to know for anybody remotely there.
No,
I think it's just the fidelity of it. I'm not sure. That's fine. It's loud enough.
I just need to know if anybody else is having any issue.
There's random points that you sound like you're super far away.
All right. Okay. Cool. It's good to know. I took some of the noise processing off just now.
very clearly not smart enough to interrogate anyone, and kind of stares at him for a second, and then goes back to playing the flute.
At some point or another, one of the little guys comes up to Kelp and says, "Did you need help tying those boots, or are they back on the wrong feet again?"
Or I'd say it's like, my boots have laces. It's like, but I guess they do. No, they're fine. They're fine.
Yeah, Velcro hasn't been invented yet.
Mm-hmm. He says, he says, "You know that weapon you have there?" And he points to the bottom of it and the top of it, because I assume you're holding it, the trident up, right?
Okay, yep. At first, I'm like, which weapon? But okay. But that could be quite threatening, I suppose.
See this end on the floor? That's the end you hold, and he runs away.
I'm like, get out of here, you little devil. Like, scamp.
So, and they go back. They're also like all just like gnawing on different food. It's mostly a lot of salad. You guys are eating salad. And Pito, you're invited to just like have a conversation. There's sort of scattered rooms here, but everything's mostly made out of what you would find in a warehouse. Sorry, this hearing aid thing. Sorry. Mostly what you're finding in a warehouse. So even the cots are sort of like crate sides and stuff like that with some padding on them. Sacks of straw, and like there might have been grain sacks at some point and stuff. But there are like places to rest and sleep for full-size people as well. So yeah, and you guys are free wander of it. Pito gets asked really directly, and he goes and he kind of smiles and he makes a symbol like this, and he says, "Aloria," and it's questioning.
I'm not sure what that symbol meant, but yeah, she sent me here.
The explosion.
Oh, yeah. It was that was interesting.
So
yeah,
he tells you overnight or until you sleep, sort of some history of stuff you guys didn't know. Do you remember Eldrin, who is the one that got you to go to the waterfront, right?
Yep.
He Eldrin of small magic. He said that that there was sort of something going on, and you get asked a lot of questions about the waterfront and what happened first, and then you get asked questions about the enclave in the forest. What happened there? What do you say about that on the lake, right?
Yeah. So I tell him what happened in Aloria. I'm fairly confident this guy's part of the same faction that sent me to do the things in Aloria. So I tell him, but I try to avoid any mention about the fight with Fake Bob.
Okay. And you said at the lake site at the.
You're talking. So wait, Chris, you're talking about not when we fought Bob, but when we were at the south and had the underwater.
Yep.
Thing,
Yeah,
and then we came to the water, and then we fought and killed everybody. That one.
Yeah.
Right.
He's talking about. He's asking about that. He's like, there was very powerful people there. What became of them?
Well, I think one is left, escaped, and the others died.
Did you see their bodies?
Some. Which person are you looking at? Are you asking
the
about?
Druids. Did you see a glow when they fell?
I don't remember. Did I? Did we?
That was where the most of fire, I think.
So hold on. So these guys are rabbit people, and we went there and we killed the hell out of those rabbit people. Are you telling him that we went there and killed the hell out of the rabbit people?
Yes, but I believe that these guys are from a different faction. If I think at least that's within the leopard eye. They seem to
Okay.
be. They're the faction that sent me to blow myself up in front of all the other rabbit people
Okay.
on the pier.
So it's
At
like
least that's what Pito believes. Yeah.
Okay.
So he takes you into this room in the back that's like an office. He asks you to come alone if you would.
I do.
And in this room is sort of where there might have been a fireplace, but there's clearly an altar. It's just a wooden simple one made of a beam, and on it sits two of the idols standing on their feet. No rope or anything like that. And he says, "Do you understand why some gods are more powerful than others?"
Somewhat. More followers means more power.
Yes, exactly. Frankford, one of the little guys is engaging you. He's like, "So, do you like lettuce a lot?"
No, not really, actually.
Oh, because I had a. Oh, never mind.
Salads are healthy. That is gross.
No yes ending here.
Mhm. So, and Bumbleberry, these guys like just like playing with you and want to be your friend and stuff, and they ask you questions about puppy. Um, so, um, Jess, you get approached by much younger, the youngest person you've seen at that height so far. He walks up to you, he's sort of barefaced almost. Everybody else has had a fairly decent beard and stuff. And you get approached by him, and he walks up to you and he asks you, um, "What's the symbol of your god? Sorry, is it on you? Do you have a symbol? Any indication of your patron on you at all?"
On my patron, might be on my coloring book, on my
Okay,
construction paper book.
all right. He says, "You're an artist, are you?"
I am, says Jess as she pulls one of the crayons out of her mouth.
What?
He says, "And this art, is it your own or is it inspired?" He says, and he just looks calm and clear-eyed and non-violent and friendly, and but I just like trying to get at something, but just may not know.
I say it's my own, and here, and I take his hand and I draw a little thing on his hand. I say, what's your favorite animal?
All right. Does your patron care whether you draw well or not?
Does my patron care whether I draw? I I chew on crayons. I
Yeah.
happen to be good at drawing and artistry, but there's limits. It's a crayon.
It's not related to your patron at all, though.
No, I don't think the is it an archdevil? I don't think the fiend cares about my artistic ability. No,
Okay.
I don't know actually. Maybe he does. If you want him to, he absolutely can.
So he asks you directly, and you realize that Jess probably realizes this guy is maybe either an acolyte or a priest in training or something, and he says, because he's got a little symbol around his neck, but it's not a rap battle, and he says, "So have you done some really evil things, I guess, eh? How do you decide which day to do good things and which day to do evil things?"
No, always good things. Why would I do evil?
Uh, is there any? I mean, they've got a non-visual sign, but is there any visual sign that you're a warlock?
Um, I wouldn't think. Oh wait, actually, hold on. Let me look at my features here.
Yeah, I was like, don't you?
I do have the devil's sight, so I imagine my eyes are probably interesting. I also have aspect of the moon, so I don't sleep and can't sleep. So probably just my face is the way that it is.
So it just points at your eyes, so it's a little symbol for eyes. He's like,
Sorry, I didn't understand what you said there. It sounded
he
just
points at your
mush.
eyes, and this little symbol. Glasses.
You're kind of
Yeah,
gargling.
What's that?
you're cutting out.
I know what it is now. Okay. Let me kill something. There's a background process going on, and
Well, her dog.
there's a background process going on, and it ramps up every once in a while. Just 1 second. It's something running in the background. That's what's doing it. So does it sort of break up?
It. I.
So far,
I
it's been
mean,
steady.
Yeah, it's been
you-
steady. You know, I talk to lots of people. Whatever you want, I'm fine for Jess to have it. I would guess most visual things would be changed by Jess changelinging.
Yeah, except for the eyes.
Except for the eyes, yeah, which are very, very face-like. Definitely kind of like a face.
And what would you declare Jess's actual line?
You were really quiet and far away there.
What would you declare as Jess's? Oh, maybe the stupid camera mic is on. What would you declare as Jess's actual alignment? Oh yeah, the camera mic's on. That's what's wrong.
Jess's alignment, I would say Jess is neutral good if alignment was still a thing in fifth.
Yeah, it's just for me to get an impression of what this person.
Yeah, I don't think she's out to do harm. She's not super chaotic. She's not if she is trending towards evil, it's through the influence of her patron as opposed to something intrinsic to her.
Yeah. Okay. No problem.
So yeah.
So that's what's going on. This, by the way, this mic is too far away if it's that one. That's why. So the problem comes, turn the video off. So, anyways, that's what the issue is. That mic is further away than those mics will work at. I thought it was the big mic that was working. It's that one. So I bet you that's a lot better to start. So.
Yeah, good so far.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah. So he says, well, and he makes a symbol you don't understand. He just sort of waves his hands around. The whole, conquer everybody, end of the world thing. I've never met anybody who, well, not conversationally, anyways, who was into that.
Oh, Jeff finally digs into what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Holds up a minor illusion of the fiend, like this guy.
All right. Yeah, little fork tail, all that stuff.
Yeah. He was fine. He gave me my coloring book.
And gave you your coloring book. Oh, really? And he looks at the coloring book. He's like, so
it just looks
draw,
like a child's coloring book when anyone else looks at it.
So inside it, would there be a lot of people dying and flames and stuff like that?
There are just, it looks like a child's crayon drawings. They're not necessarily, I mean, maybe if you looked at them and just kind of holds it upside down, like, I guess if you looked at it and Jess doesn't see them as that, but definitely there are 2 or 3 that are just like horrible, horrifying horrors.
Yeah.
But like Jess is like, this is a flower garden, and here's the, here are the leaves and the stems.
Right.
Yeah. So yes, there is stuff like that all over, but it is not. It doesn't appear to be intentional. The whatever influence is still subconscious for her.
So Pedo, and then Spalding, there's a couple of guys trying to touch your skin.
I'll just like swing my tail around and let him feel it.
Okay. One of them grabs onto it just gently and says, "Can you do that again?"
Yeah, I'll like swipe it back and forth a bit. See if I can.
Like
sweeping across the floor like when the cat grabs the big dog's tail. So
Yeah.
and he looks happy as shit. So, anyways, Pito, he says to you, he says, in a very low voice, he says, and what do you think? How do you think gods decide what to do or what they want?
Yeah, I think that question is maybe a little above my pay grade. Honestly, gods have always been a mystery to me. We're meant to just follow them, right?
Well,
they lead us.
imagine you had a ring that you thought was good luck, right? Okay. And you had some friends and they also thought that ring was good luck. And every time that you went out to go to a competition or went to sing or somebody, played, throw the sack around the square or whatever, anything like that, or rolled dice for money, they wanted to touch your ring, right?
Mm-hmm.
So imagine 1,000 people thought it was good luck.
Maybe it is good luck.
Yeah, so if you could convince 1,000 people that it's good luck, then they would might believe there's something behind it or somebody behind it or that you're behind the luck.
Yeah.
And you would become a god. But you'd be a god of luck because of their belief. And if they were all evil little assholes, he says, which kind of surprises you. His language is getting more casual as he talks to you. Then it would be a god of luck for evil little assholes. Do you understand?
I think I do.
So what if somebody else comes along and tells the evil little assholes that they have to spin around in circles every time they touch the ring to get good luck?
Yeah, I think they might start spinning around in circles.
Yeah, but it's just some guy that told them that, who had a lot of charisma, maybe a good singer, right? He smiles at you. So, very charismatic person. They just keep they tell everybody that, spin around. And then, of course, people see good luck when they're looking for good luck. So, he explains to you after a while that if that person created a bunch of mythology and direction and things that, brought tablets down from the mountain, that would become the directive of that god, right?
Hmm.
And that would become that ritual of spinning around would actually become good luck. Draw the attention of that god. So he says there might be 10 or 15 followers, true followers, maybe 20 of Leopard Day left. And he waits for you to absorb that.
That's not very many.
No. The false followers give him power, but in their image. But the real God is still there. The real personality, the real person, not personality, but the real nature of the from the ancient times is still there, but it's trapped. So
and what do you intend to do?
We try to grow our numbers, and the God is a peaceful God. God negotiates protection for his followers. The God works with other gods. The God works with people. The God, if somebody is building a war and expanding he says that, he corrects himself, as a block of houses or business or a mill or something, the God just wants that person to talk first so that they can relocate the warrens that are about there and stuff. Not to kill anyone. So that true nature is coming back because of things you've done. Just a little bit more every day. And you are becoming, and he points to the mantle. Without losing yourself, you're becoming a symbol of power. So, anyways, he says that to you. And then Frankford, a couple of these guys would really like to ride on your shell.